So this is a bonus video on where to use OKRs and where not to. One of the most common questions I hear is, do we use OKRs for everything? And the answer is no. Indeed, one of the biggest problems I see in clients who are already using OKRs is trying to use them for everything. The classic example of OKRs misuse is in a sales team. Most sales teams have an incentive program, bonuses, commissions, sales quotas, and so on. If you also give the sales team OKRs to hit, where are they going to spend their time and energy? That's right, on things that will help them get their financial incentives. That's what salespeople do, that's who you've hired, and that's why you've set up your incentives that way. It's working as intended. But if you set OKRs expecting major results on those OKRs in addition to the sales incentives, you're going to be disappointed. So some people solve that by setting sales OKRs that duplicate the incentive program, or they express the incentive program in terms of OKRs. But this adds complexity and confuses how OKRs work in the rest of the company. How come they get money for hitting their OKRs, but we don't? It's just not helpful to mix sales incentives and OKRs. Keep them separate. It's best to accept that 95% or more of sales work will be driven by the incentive program and tracked by sales funnel metrics. And if you want to affect some other change, you can sprinkle some OKR on top, and they may spend a tiny fraction of their energy to do that as well. This might be something like changing sales methods or improving pipeline tracking, but for salespeople, it's always going to come second to the sales incentive program, and that's what you want in sales. Some teams, by the way, have a sales operations function where the balance may be different and they spend more time on OKRs, but they usually don't have sales incentive programs, so there's no confusion. Similar to sales, look at a highly operational team, which is mostly concerned with business as usual. Perhaps it's a customer service team closing tickets, or a manufacturing team producing a product. What you really want from these teams is consistency. They spend most of their time running the machine, executing a well-defined process. Track this with metrics or KPIs and review those metrics regularly. Mostly they should change incrementally, and large changes are usually problems you need to respond to. Don't try to squeeze this into an OKR form. You actually want them tracking 10, 20 or more metrics and reacting to them as they change. And trying to set targets for each of them is going to be needless overhead. Again, you can set OKRs for specific changes you need to make, big changes. For example, you want to find a way to reduce customer service first response time from 2 days to 30 minutes. That's a major change, but bear in mind that you still want 90% of that team's work to go into running the machine, not changing it. So you want to separate out the running and the changing of the machine. Most teams have some combination of operational business as usual work and change work. They run a machine and they change the machine. At the executive level, for example, you'll review business metrics regularly, daily and weekly, and that's how you're monitoring the running of your machine, the machine being your business. But then you'll also set OKRs for the changes you want to implement this quarter, and you'll manage using both of these tools. In a functional team, you may select one team and use it primarily. In a product team, you'll mostly be using OKRs, but you'll always want to pay attention to the metrics of the machine you're changing, whatever that is and whoever is running it. So don't fall into the trap of using OKRs for everything. There are different tools for different purposes, and you need to use the right tool for the job.